Hey guys, Marco here, and I kind of realized that this video is structured a lot like a lab report. Well, I mean, bio major nga naman ako, so might as well own up to it. Okay, let's go to the introduction. Why did I do this experiment? I do realize that it's hard for us to focus right now with everything that's going on, and that's perfectly fine. These days are indeed tough, so it's hard for us to do so. But while I was reading my book, a question popped into my head. Where does my mind wander off to when I'm reading? And this simple question actually got me thinking. Not only do I want to know what my mind thinks about when it's focused, I wanted to know if it's related to the thing I'm reading, or are these just random thoughts? I wanted to see if I could improve my focus. And honestly, I wanted to use my planner more, because like I said in a previous video, I don't really have the chance to use it. So this is a really good chance to use it. How did I do this experiment? So I used the Force app to total the time I used to focus per day and to total the whole week's focus time. I started on April 26 and then ended on May 2. When it comes to the sessions, I tried to do 2 to 3 sessions in the morning and then 2 to 3 in the afternoon. And then if I'm feeling a bit more chipper than usual, I try to do 2 to 3 more sessions before I go to sleep. The length of each session really depends on what I'm feeling as well. Because some sessions did use 20 to 30 minutes, but then there are some sessions that I used 60 minutes for, which didn't really pan out well. When it comes to the actual method of doing the distraction tracker, I only counted distractions if they are within the sessions that I've been doing. So if I read for pleasure without starting the Forest app, it's not counted as a distraction. When I do start the timer of the Forest app and something catches my attention just like that, it's immediately going to the planner. Speaking of my planner, all distractions are going to be listed in my notebook. So as soon as the distraction hits me, I'm gonna write it down, or I'm just gonna add another tick mark to it. What did I find out about myself? So for my distractions tracker, so you guys can easily visualize it with me, I'm just gonna go ahead and list them right here. And I'll be talking about the first 6 maybe, because I think those are the more significant ones. So the first one is I want to reply on Messenger. So the first one on top is I want to reply on Messenger. In this part, I included me wanting to message someone, me wanting to reply to someone, me wanting to read someone's reply, and just thinking of a good conversation that I had. Number 2 is setting up the camera. Because I was trying to film for this video, this did take up a lot of distraction counts. So here I included me adjusting the camera, starting the camera, stopping the camera. So the third one is my cell phone ringing. This can be just from any notification, not just Messenger. Can be from Instagram, Facebook, other platforms that would make my phone go off. It can be a cell phone call, text message. So I just included as much as I can there. I think this data point is a bit skewed because I turned off the sounds of my phone halfway through the week. It could probably be more if I left it on throughout the week. Next is checking the Forest app timer. So there are times that in my Pomodoro session, I noticed that my mind would ask itself, how long do I have left? And I think that's still counted as a distraction because it's straying away from what I'm reading. And the last one I'll be talking about is a 3-way tie with drink water, someone opening the door, and someone making a noise in the group study call. Drinking water basically means me getting up to get water, not the act of drinking. Someone opening a door means either opening the door to my room or another door, which gets my attention. And the last is someone made a noise in a group study call, can either be a general question or someone's dog just barking in the back. So for the discussion part, I want to talk about some of the things I observed and some of the things that I noticed throughout this experiment. I'll be using my Starbucks planner because I have all my notes right here. First on my list is I noticed that having too long of a Pomodoro session actually makes me super antsy. And I think it's because I'm used to having 20 to 30 minutes and having 60 minutes is just too long for my attention span. So that's why I think I kept checking my Forest timer. It's because I'm not used to it and I just wanted to know if it's over already. And I also think there is a trade-off. Although the amount of information you consume within that 60 minutes is a lot, the amount of rest you need to take for you to start again right after is going to be pretty large as well. I think in the video, I noticed that I had to take a 2-hour break after an hour of work. So that is something I need to take into consideration next time. The second is I noticed that when I work in front of my computer, the distractions go way up. I think that happens because the temptation is right there in front of you and it's just easy to look up and start typing away. So what I did to address that was to turn away and study on my study desk instead. And just by turning away from the computer, I drastically reduced the amount of distractions that I had to resist. So I made it easier for myself. The third thing I observed, and I didn't really know this about myself when I started out this experiment, and it's messaging or having a really good conversation before a study session is really distracting. And I think the main reason why it's so distracting is either I want to check for the replies, I want to reply, or I'm trying to just think about how good the convo was. So the fourth thing on the list is more serendipitous really, because it's not really within the scope and limitations of my video. And I noticed that when I listen to songs with lyrics, I get distracted more as compared to listening to classical music that doesn't have lyrics. And I also noticed that if I listen to chill hop music, the one with the beats and stuff, I can dance to those and I get distracted much more easily than classical music as well. Last thing on my list is more simple really, and it's turning off the notifications or the alarms or putting my phone away from me helped drastically reduce the amount of distractions that I had to resist. It's the same as turning away from the laptop, you just reduce the thing you can't control super easily. What does this all mean? I guess I have to give concluding statements because lab reps have conclusions, right? Well, I mean, I do actually have main takeaways, so I'm still gonna do this part. So my first takeaway from all of this is the fact that focus can be cultivated. I guess it's easy to get bogged down by the fact that everything is from the genetics of it, everything you're born with is what you are, but the fact is, you can improve yourself. You just need enough time and effort to try and do so. And one thing I didn't really mention in the discussions part is the fact that when I started off with this week, it was super hard to focus. It was super hard to just sit down and put my attention into one thing. But as I went through the week, as I made it into a habit instead of something that I actively needed to do, it became easier. So you just really have to get into it and just keep trying until it becomes some sort of habit. My second takeaway, although it's pretty obvious, is that there are distractions that you can control and there are distractions that you can't control. So what do we do with this information? Try to reduce those that you can control, and for those that you can't, try not to make them affect your work in general. A good example for this is I know that notifications are a big distraction for me, so I turn off the notifications. One thing I can't control is my mom asking me if I want merienda. So what do I do with this? I just eat or not eat, entertain her, and then go right into reading again. Instead of fixating on the fact that I was distracted, I exert more energy into getting back into the groove rather than think about all of those things. And the last point I want to make, which I think would end this concluding statement, concludoception, keeping track is a good first step if you want to improve yourself, because you wouldn't really know what to improve on if you don't know what's up. For example, I think this week has been pretty enlightening. Although I know I get distracted pretty easily, the specifics of those distractions were pretty abstract to me. So when I made it specific just by writing them down, I had an easier time addressing those distractions because I knew what they were. And that pretty much ends this video. I hope you guys found this helpful, insightful, and hopefully entertaining. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Instagram there, Facebook down there. You guys know what to do already. Question for the video: what are the things that distract you the most? And have you tried to address them? Have you not? I just want to know. Comment them down below. And again, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate the love and support. If you guys want to support me some more, you can always subscribe here or watch my old videos there or watch my new videos in the coming days. Yeah, hopefully I see you guys in the next videos, and peace. Usual.